Off high 987. I have a number of things that are on my mind right now, but what I have to say about the threatening is I am homeless in the threatening. That means I'm deceased in the threatening, and because I eat, I make videos and post them on YouTube while I am alone here, but there is still threatening to the front doorway. I have seen people enter in here, and I don't know if they are causing it to one another, such as if one person comes in here, they are followed by somebody else. And I know who you are, but if you're not here, I can't really say to one person that somebody else was here. You don't see it. It's true that it's not alive that way for you. But I know if somebody's been here or not, and I don't actually have that paid for when I cook and eat. So you are trying to landlord myself deceased because you don't understand that when I say I'm deceased, you are not to speak to me anymore. What's wrong with it? I still need food because I am a debt at this time. That means you're not to speak to me, and you're not really to neglect that I need everything I need. I need food, I need something to wear, and I need to stay here in the apartment because I'm going to decease myself here. I am not an apartment, but I have been homeless, and you didn't die that way even though I had time. I had time, and I had the order to be outside until the formed world is deceased by myself. But you don't afford it. You are arguing this apartment. You are arguing everything in here, and it's below homeless to do that. But you don't have below homeless until I was witnessed homeless deceased, and that's October 22nd, year 2022. And you're so far below homeless since then. Now it is October of year 2025. I don't actually have that I can help you with how far in the wrong you are. This is going out of alive, and you are going to see it with yourself. And you are not to threaten me physically that you don't want something about yourself. And you are yourself. And you are where you are, which may be right here, or it may be prowling. Because I am deceased right here is disclosed by myself, I am to move everything around myself, about myself, and that has been for the past 3 years. But I find it to be failure to thrive. I will be going out of my genitals as mutilated genitals, as opposed to that I am feminine genitals on the Godhead. I'm not really a female. I'm being created by a feminine aspect of God, but the entity, the essence that is holding alive of the Godhead is the Lord, and he's not female ever. It's female if it's against himself, and I have mutilated genitals on myself, and it's against myself right here, here, and down here. Of course, I can't say the head is immune. The head is also disturbed by everything here, and I don't afford to tell you otherwise. It's true that you have homeless on that threatening because I am not yourself. Not because you are not myself. It's the other way. I'm not yourself, and you have threatening there that is other than what you would rather say, that I am not yourself. No, I am not yourself is not threatening me. I am not yourself is threatening you. I'm the Godhead. It's not a contest and it's not disputed. I'm eternally the Godhead. If you don't know that with yourself, you are somewhere else, but you are alive this way. So, is somebody going to come inside the doorway and tell me to get a job to pay for my own food? That's deceased, except for that you come through the doorway and you did a few things that I didn't expect, which is you took away some things that belonged to Charles Toe, as in they were men's clothing. I don't wear men's clothing. They were definitely not mine. So that's how I would say I didn't expect that. Yeah. Why would you come in here to take away men's clothing when they're not really talking to you? Mm-hmm. So that's how I am waiting for the next thing for you to say is, yep, can't give you any more food for you to cook and eat for yourself. You need to go out and get a job. I can't afford to hear that as God because it's deceased. But I've already heard it from GERI in her office. But I'm not allowed to hear that in this apartment. You can't come in through the front door and say that in the apartment, which is just a few steps away. So say 5 minutes walk from the office to the apartment. I'm just estimating about 5 minutes walking. There are stairs. You have to go down some stairs, up some stairs, between the office and here. And that's where inside of the fence that has door locking, I heard somebody tell me to get a job. Yep, and I don't have the same last name as the landlord who said it, and I also don't have what it takes to get a job, and I'm not due elsewhere. You can't tell me I'm due elsewhere. I'm not allowed to hear that. I just can't afford to hear it again. I'm making a video about it, but I don't know if it will help. I really can't afford that somebody would come in the front door and talk to me about myself and tell me I need to get a job or I don't have anything else to eat. Well, I'm not yourself. Does everybody think anybody can tell anyone to get a job? Or do you just eliminate that you have any problems in the public and you're just going to talk to me about myself and wait? See what happens. Well, I don't know how I've made it this far. The last time I had a job in the year 2006, and the last time I heard someone tell me to get a job was in the year 2024. That means you don't give up. You actually don't know what's wrong with you. You don't know how to not talk to somebody about their self and they're not you. And you have your own genitals. I have my own genitals. I have a creator of my genitals, and I have my own genitals. What makes you think I need any sort of assistance from you, or help from you, or counsel from you, or guidance from you? That I should go get a job and give you money. And I'm doing that just for you, to yourself. And I'm doing that for myself, to yourself, which is like doing it for you if I was for you. If my genitals were created for you and your genitals, I'm not a slave. If I was a slave, I would be arguing that point with you, and it would be in your prejudice. I have to have black skin for that to be in your prejudice, no matter who you are. If I don't have black skin, I'm not in any sort of prejudice to answer your question, should I get a job? If I have black skin, I would be attacking you, saying, I have a job. And what I'm going to do with myself, in front of you, about you, around you. You're trying to hire a slave. And that my genitals are created for you. If I was black, I have prejudice, and that my genitals are alive. I have alives with other people with genitals that are alives because I'm black. If that's true, but I'm not black. I don't have genitals that way. When you tell me to get a job, I don't have genitals that way. Just don't have a life that way. I don't work for you. I am the Godhead, by the way, and this is the end of the final world of 17 consecutive worlds about the entity we now call Jesus. He's elsewhere is called Michael, but he's not actually Michael. Michael is in heaven. Jesus is named after Michael in heaven, elsewhere, and then now we know him as Jesus. But there is some confusion about the Jesus and the devil, because who is really on the crucifix? We don't know. The crucifixion, we don't know who that is. It's a figure of a man. His genitals are covered, which means it could be a penis genital or a dong genital. I'm not crucified is not true. I'm crucified, but I don't afford it mentally. I don't afford to be crucified. You can't tie up my arms and legs. That's why I'm here and alive. It's not really me. If you can see it in the church, it's not because of me. It's after myself, but not myself. Not because of myself. So, if it's the devil who's crucified, and then there's Jesus, we don't know why Jesus is not crucified, because there's so many people. They are here because of Jesus. You can hear that. But there's that cross and crucifixion, and we don't know. If you don't name the figure Jesus right there, we don't know why you would be aware of that. Jesus is who formed you. You are formed by Jesus. That's true. The J in Jesus stands for Joel, Joel. Johl is myself, and genitals elsewhere, and I don't afford them. They are deceased. So the Joel is deceased, and the J in Jesus is deceased that way. But you have the entity that is known as Jesus is still responsible for forming you. He's not alive, but he is the one who formed you elsewhere. You're not here unless that's true. I received a comment on the internet that somebody thinks Jesus is alive. Jesus not really alive. Not if I'm here. I'm not here on that Jesus is alive. He's not alive. It's not possible that he's alive. I have to whisk this. I'm going to try not to melt the fork. Yeah, it's pretty hot, so I'll have to do this quickly. It looks okay. I don't really think I need to do this, but I'll do it. The devil is Jesus, and then Jesus is also the devil, but one of them didn't make it to be the other one. The devil was once Jesus, but Jesus was not the devil. You know, one of them, and it's not clear right here. We don't know that. That's why it's a crucifixion. They're a broken part of a self. Yeah, they know that, but it's not true that I can help you with that. You don't know that with all your very many problems. You have very many problems because Jesus and the devil don't have a union. Elsewhere's they get alive here because of that, but not anymore because you can't come here and say you don't know what your problem is. I've been here for 45 years of a life continuously, and I've not made one mistake yet. That means if you make a mistake and you go into debt with your mistake, you have to put your mistake in jail and prison so that you don't go into a consumption of the mistake, where God would create you and all of the threatening of a mistake. So, for example, if I shoplifting to me is I pay a cashier. So let's say I buy one item and I spend $10. Okay, that's a commission. So after that, God is going to create who, what, when, where, why, and how about the commission I made, as in what would I do next, because I'm still alive is in the threatening that I could do it again. So God will ask me in all the ways why I would do it again or why I would not. And if I don't want it either yes or no, if I don't want to threaten God that I would do it again, I have to go into the jail and I have to stay there for that threatening. I have to announce myself in the jail in front of something that you would call a judge. And I have to say it there. They're really hostage-ers. I don't want to do it again. I have to say, I bought something, I paid for it, and I'm threatening to do it again because I am myself, but I don't want to, and I know why. But I have to say, that's because I saw somebody who saw me do it. I was in a store, and there was an attendant to the cash register who saw me do it, and now I'm in the jail, and there's a judge who's hearing me say that I did it elsewhere, but I don't want to do it again. And I'm the one who walked in, I'm the one who walked out, I'm the one who's in the jail who's going to say that. And that's how I will be created by God, and he may give me a death in the jail, or he may let me out of the jail for another question, and then it proceeds after that. That's what God would do. Depends on what you look like. It depends on who you are. What you say to your God. And if you're not substantially that kind of entity, which you're not because you have a penis, but that's what you can, that's the most I can help you with. You can't be here in any other way. You can't just be running up credit cards because that's me who's paying for it and you don't know that. You don't. You just don't. You don't know who I am. You don't know who I am. You don't have $10 in it. What's my secret to success? I have hunger. I can't help it. If I wasn't hungry, I wouldn't eat because I can't afford to pay the money. The money's being charged. There's trespassers in my house, and in the stores, all the prices are posted, and there are attendants by the cash registers, and I can't afford to make any kind of motion in the commotion. Can't. My alive does not make a motion in the commotion. I need myself deceased out of it all, and I'm not stagnant, I'm not idling, I'm not loitering. I absolutely don't eat. That you are in debt. I don't want to feed it, and I don't want to need it. And I have hunger, I also think is crippling. My hunger is emotion that I'm being made by my overlording, and it's crippling. I absolutely don't want to eat everything that I can eat. I don't want it. I don't want that it's hot. I don't want that people can see me eat. I don't want selections being changed over the years, because I've also seen this stock change. You could say it changes every year or years or months. It depends what you look at. Like a new kind of yogurt, like Chobani was not alive when I was eating Yoplait in the 90s, so the stock has changed there, like what you can eat. And I have been living through that time, and I don't want anything extra added because it's not really money to me. It's time I don't need. It's time I don't afford, because I don't actually have that I can pay you money for the transactions. I don't make money in the bank in my name. There's somebody who had a joint bank account with myself, Donna Y and Moser, and she's responsible for naming me, and she gave me money, but I don't know why she gave me money. She gave me an arbitrary amount of money. Is that because she couldn't get it out of the bank? You don't want to admit that. I think heaven is wrong to me about the arbitration that Donna put money in my name in the bank. I think that was definitely God's problem, because I died out of form in a torturous way. Let's just say it'll be the last time I die, but I am out of the order because of that money. Yep, I'll never be in the order again because of the savings account. I didn't set it up myself. I didn't take the money out for 22 years. So the money was in the bank for 22 years. I got it out after 22 years because I could get it out. It was elsewhere I could not. I could not get it out for 22 years, and then after 22 years I could get the money out. When do I ask if I can get the money out? Do I go there and just wait in the bank? Should I work in the bank and ask every day, can I get this money out and close the account? Because it was joint with somebody that is not allowed in my house. No, does the bank say that she can stay there? Did she do that in the bank? And they just kept the account open because it was in prejudice. She's not allowed to do that in the bank. Well, why would you put money in somebody's name who didn't put it in their own name? I don't have a risk that way. I don't have a threat that way. So I guess we are just going to pay for that as it is now, which is I am deceased out of formed by Jesus. I'm not formed by Jesus is not true. I am formed by Jesus, but it's deceased that I am formed by Jesus. It's no longer for his need. Now it's for my need. I need that Jesus not make this kind of world within myself. So you have a problem and you don't know it. You have a problem and you don't know it. I just burped. I don't actually want to talk about it. You have a problem and you don't know it. I don't want to talk about it because it's partly myself in heaven saying you have a problem and you don't know it because you're too close to somebody's who are not yourself and not in prejudice to be in the problem with you. That's what public is. It's how you don't know your problem because you're too close to other people who are not in prejudice to know what your problem is. By that you might be angry with the problem, and it's not really them who is creating the problem for you. That's heaven who creates the problem for you. But we have been sexually abused. That's the bottom of the threatening. And you did not stop your sexual abuse of myself, and you don't stop it now. No, you don't stop it now. You leave comments on the internet. You have no sensitivity. You have no fear. You leave comments on the internet, and I have videos on the internet that are disclosing that I've been sexually abused. And your comments are outrageous. How dare you leave a comment about any of my videos? I am saying I have been sexually abused, and you are absolutely consuming it. You can scream fuck till the end of all time, but I am none higher than he deceased right here. There's no such thing as fuck. Heaven can say fuck. If you have genitals, you can't say fuck. For heaven to use the word fuck, heaven creates all the genitals. You could be in genitals and say the word fuck, and you're ridiculous. Because you're not up in heaven creating all of the genitals. And you have that kind of mind. You eat that. You eat that you don't have any genitals that way. Like you are over your genitals, around your genitals. You're dismissing your genitals with themselves. You don't speak English. If you don't have genitals, you don't speak English. Did you hear heaven say fuck to you? You might hear it, but you're too close to heaven. That means you're in the wrong place, and you can hear that out of heaven. Heaven saying fuck. Heaven can say fuck. Heaven can say a lot. Okay, more water. Well, I try not to say the swear words. I'm not supposed to say the S word, S-H, exclamation mark, T. I'm not supposed to say F, C-K, and I'm not supposed to say D-A-M-N. I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not supposed to say B-I-T-C and the letter H. But I am deceased the wrong way. I have said those words on the internet because I am deceased the wrong way. Mitch, hello. I don't want you to tell me to get a job. I'm deceased. What does deceased mean? I died against everyone who's not myself because I'm none higher than he deceased. There's still a lot of shock absorption right now because you're not deceased in the threatening yet. When you are, you're going out of alive and you will see it. It will be freakishly evil. I will not be a part of your problems anymore. I'm supposed to be the leverage into deceasement, but you made me the lever. The lever's in heaven. L-E-V-E-R, that's in heaven. But I am the lever is right here. I accidented and I died right out of heaven. And I'm right here deceased. And heaven is deceased beneath myself. Well, it would have been that way if I had just been in my house. Yeah. Well, the whole Godhead is deceased now. That's for you to look forward to your future. You know why you can hear the Godhead talking to you about itself? Because you're trespassing on the Godhead, time and space, karma, money, threatening. You're trespassing. You're so close to the fire. Yep. You don't know how to get away. You don't know how to go to jail, because jail, that would be like a portal to freedom. It's not too late until you die, and then it's too late for you to go to jail. Then you might just end up in your disappointments later on. But why do you wait with that looming ahead of you? You have looming ahead of you a dark afterlife, and you won't go into it by going into a jail to say that you're ready for God to be in a somber threatening with you. Instead, you're maniacal scream watching the internet entertainment, going on fast trafficking. You even look at the airplanes above, and you're in a no such thing elation, because it's really quite somber elsewhere. Somebody's already died in the low. I am shouted, and you tell me not to shout, and you don't know why it's shouted, and it knows in heaven that somebody was murdered, and I am shouted because it's not myself who did it. Nope, somebody did collapse in their leverage, and I am shouted that I'm not going to eat it. Nope. I eat hot food, but you won't just give it to me in my leverage. Yo, you owe it to me. It's mine to myself because I alive, and you're withholding the food away from myself, and somebody got murdered, and you told me to stop shouting because you don't want to hear it about your own ears hearing and how you feel about yourself, and you're small, and you're going to insist that that's who and what you are, and you're not going to change, and it's my problem because I'm not yourself, and I am right here, and you're right here as well. That's you saying that you are myself to myself, and I don't have a life that way. It's shouted. It is shouted against yourself, and you don't know how to say you're sorry to God is not due. You can go to jail and prison, and you don't have to say a word to me. I don't really believe in apologies. There's really no nice or kind words or sorry words you can say to me. You can just be in jail and prison, and I would not know that about you. I'm not going to jail for you. You can go in there safely, and I will not be there. It's not really safe to be in a jail and a prison, and neither is it safe for you to threaten me that I should not shout. That's not safe. It's not safe for you, and it's not safe for me. You can safely go into a jail and a prison on that point, but once you're in the prisons, you are in the jails and in the prisons, then I guess it's not safe for you, but that's you. That's you knowing that you're just not a safe problem. You need to cease. You need to cease to everybody who's not yourself. And you shouldn't just leave me a comment so fast and quick about how you can just talk to me about myself, and you dismiss that your genitals are not deceased to everybody who's not yourself to yourself. And you're still going to talk over all those problems to myself, taking the time for 45 years of people's genitals you live off of that are not even really alive, because the public is illegal, unclean death in public. And you live off of that. And you're so bold. You want to talk to me about myself. Write in the comments. Zip. As if I gave you my own home address. It's Fremont Gardens, Apartments, Las Vegas, Nevada. Did I give you the address? No. If you're not watching this video, I didn't give you the address. You don't belong on YouTube. Now you know why you're watching. And you know it's not your money. And if it's not my money to yourself, go to jail and prison. And if it's my money to yourself, you go to jail and prison. If you still want to count things and keep things and dust things and clean things and travel fast, why don't you go fast to jail and prison? And if they keep you, you know that's your problem. There is such a thing as a jail or a prison mess hall. The prison mess hall is why you don't talk to me about myself ever. You can't afford to eat food out of a supermarket or a restaurant because you need to be in a prison mess hall, so you know the threat to yourself. That's the lower threat, and that's what it is. There's really nothing for you in the public because I am alive. Who am I? If it's no one to you, go to jail and prison. I'm deceased is talking about you going to jail and prison, and I'm not. And I am now deceased in the threatening. I'm not going to jail for you. Yep, it's deceased. I am not. But I have a low problem anyway, which is I died out of formed by Jesus. You know, I know what my problems are. And I don't appreciate you telling me that I don't know what my problems are because there's still time for you to make a problem for me. Like I said, I know what my problems are. Watch you say no to everything on earth, and you know yourself right out of your leverage, and you don't have alive anymore because you don't have leverage to alive yourself anymore, but you're caught in your genitals. You don't know that when you make threats to myself, and I would like to hold you to it. If you threaten me in the comments, you better include that you are not deceased out of your genitals to everyone who's not yourself. And you better include that you could threaten me about myself, and I'm not yourself, and your own genitals being created by your own God. That means I don't create you in your genitals. So what are you talking about anyway? Are you sure it's not no to you this time? It could be no to you this time. It could be no to you ever. Okay, I am hoping this is fully cooked. I want the potatoes to be cooked all the way through. This burner is still hot. I'm reaching for the camera. That's the hot burner. Say grace, I did not get burned. And yet you still are threatening that you're going to leave a comment about this video or any. As though I burn myself on the stove. It's just the same if you say something in a comment to me about myself. You're threatening me that you're not myself is still too close to me for what I am, for who I am. I'm the one who makes that possible, but you are ever being tested. You're being tested because you're alive and you're not deceased to everyone who's not yourself, and you are being tested that way because the way you know you're deceased to everyone who's not yourself is that you don't see anybody else in genitals. If you see other people in genitals, you're not deceased to them. I'm deceased because I was alive that way to alive all of alive in this world. Who penis do in Africa? Okay, I didn't leave these inside the bag and then fold the bag up and put it inside. Nope, it's just the food touching the inside of this, Tupperware container. Okay, so it's like that. So I'm talking about Mariah Carey is not really true. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. It's like that. It's like that, y'all. You have a tone deaf problem because you have music in public. If you didn't have the music playing in your cars and in your stores and in public anywhere, I could hear the music and I wouldn't have to hear it so many times and it would sound different to me. I hear the music too many times, sounds different to me. I don't feel the presence of God the same way. I do feel it when he is present with the music, but if he plays it, I don't know, because I have extra time. With you listening to the music, I have extra time I don't need. Yeah. Too much time with the music. You're tone deaf. You don't really know how angry the music is with the songwriters and singers and people who play instruments that's angry because they're not really God and they're clearly eating it with their mouth. They don't shop in the supermarkets. They go right up to the microphone and they run their mouth. Do we say run? They move their mouth right over the microphone. Should I say it that way? They move their mouth right over or in front of or behind at the microphone. I can't afford that. It's clearly against myself. Well, this is still hot. I have to move it again. I move Supreme around because I'm the soul of the superior founder. Supreme is like the bowl is an order. And I move everything because I must. But you're not supposed to move things around. You're not supposed to touch things, count things, move things, possess things, own things, buy things, control things, manipulate things, tell people no to what they see and touch and have and keep and try for and buy. And it's not you buying it, it's somebody else buying it. If somebody gifts something to you, you're not supposed to be in the mix with any of that. You have a legal alive genital penis. And you've had 45 years to die out of the penis is the outcome of that having been done with a dung genital and deceased in the threatening is what is formed as a penis. If you are in a penis and you carry on with those same questions, you're doubling down on the creation of yourself that you don't really hold alive of genitals at all because you don't have the penis deceased. You must flow with all of the motion of alive. I make the motion of alive and I'm here in this low life God form you don't respect at all. And I hold alive this way for 45 years and you don't respect it at all. You don't respect me enough to believe me. All that I put into myself to be alive for 45 years. All you want to know is who told me no, who's my landlord, who's my boyfriend, who are my parents, where's my dog. You want to know who's going to drive me in a car? You want to know if I paid the charges? You want to know if I clear the accusations of shoplifting, and that if I have a receipt, I've cleared the accusations of shoplifting, but from my point of view, it's shoplifted by the charges. But you don't want to hear that. You want to know if I paid the charges. And then after that, I suppose once I've consumed it, if it's food, I have about that much time to pay the charges and eat them up. And then there are more charges after that. They are just hanging and waiting. Who are the cashiers standing at the cash registers during the open hours of the stores? And then the closed hours of the stores are keeping the cashier's payroll running, even though the lights are off. Or you could say some of the lights are on for security. Because you don't trust the power company to tell you that you're not allowed to be there at night and run the electricity, and you have to get new light bulbs in the stores because you don't understand how to stop the threatening to myself. I am alive here. None of that is in dispute. Mrs. Plesko, my kindergarten teacher. By the way, I can't afford a conversation with any of you because I cannot be on your point of conversation that you're threatening to speak or you're threatening to be quiet. You're threatening that you heard me. You're threatening to tell me that you don't want to hear me speak anymore. You're not really on the same subject as I am. You don't want to hear everything I have to say. You might just want to hear a part of it. I can't afford that. I'm talking right to the camera. If you turn off the video before I'm done, What do you want me to do? Strike you with lightning? I have genitals on myself, and you are incredibly evil about what you think God is. I am God deceased right here. I would not strike you by lightning because I have genitals on myself. That's how you want it, that I have genitals on myself and I worry about myself. Yeah, but where? So let's get back to Mrs. Plesko. Scissors in kindergarten. There are left-handed scissors in kindergarten. Yes. I use my left hand. I can read it. But I can't read. Reading is in first grade. You learn how to read out of textbooks in first grade. Yeah, but it's left on the left-handed scissors. This is not a left-handed scissors. No, and I'm using it anyway. Mrs. Plesko, I'm using a right-handed person's scissors anyway. Yeah, but all the toilets, to me, have the handle on the left side, and that's me. I'm left-handed and the handle's on the left side. What's wrong with it? The toilet paper. I use my left hand to use toilet paper, and then I would touch the handle if it was just my house. But I would not do that at a public toilet. I would use the right hand or my foot. I like to use my foot. If it's a public toilet, I just want to lift my foot up and touch one of those, the handle that goes like out to the side, and it could rotate around. I sometimes have to turn it all the way around. That's what's wrong with the public toilet. If I use my hand, I have to turn it around if it doesn't just go down. Or sometimes it could go a little back because it doesn't go straight up and down. It goes like in a ball joint. It goes around. So that if I can just touch it with my foot, I don't want to touch it with my hand at all. I would use my shoe to flush the toilet in public. Yeah, I don't think it's sanitary to use a toilet at all. I can't wait to die. I don't want to use a toilet anymore in public. I can't wait to die out of public toilets. They're so unsanitary. I've used them more than you have. I've used so many of them more than you have. Yes, I've used them more than you have because I'm homeless out of my house. I've used the most public toilets ever. They're disgusting. I want a death on myself. I don't want to clean a public toilet, and God was so good to me that way. He had other people cleaning public toilets for me. I could still use that. Other people clean the public toilet, or God would clean it. Wow, He wouldn't clean my toilet. That's how I'm here. Right, Lynn? Lynn, the cleaning lady, she cleaned the toilet in my house, and I'm not there anymore. She cleaned me right out of the use of the toilet. Would be the reason I would use the toilets, because there was Lynn in existence to Donna. That's why I would use the toilet. Yeah, but she cleaned the toilet, and now I can't use that toilet anymore. I have to find all the toilets I ever found in my life. 45 years of public toilets. Yeah, well, you can imagine that's far and wide. It's not just Milwaukee, Wisconsin that I use public toilets. I use them all over the world. Yes, I've traveled all over the world. I land airplanes. I've used public toilets in the airplane, like the airplane toilet. Yep, I've used that. Have we ever pooped in an airplane toilet? A urine, emergency urine in the airplane toilet. That I remember that, but I don't remember if I ever pooped in an airplane toilet. Hopefully not, because that's disgusting. That's totally disgusting. I admit that. It's possible, but it's totally outrageous. When I was little, I took some airplanes still growing up, and the early flights, the first flights on the airplanes, I was given wings. They are like with the pin on the back, so you can pin it on your clothing. It's for a kid. I assume other kids get them, but not adults. The kids get them. Maybe because of me. I had them, I kept them, and now I don't know where they are now. I don't know how I lost them. My house eats things. My house ate everything. Oh, my house couldn't eat a realtor. Yeah, Jan Rust in my house did not eat that you're a realtor. No. But it's somewhere hiding the wings from when I was a passenger on an airplane, very young. So they're plastic with a metal pin on the back. So wings. It looks like maybe a pilot might have that, a captain might have that, but it was small for a youth, a kid, child. I mean, I suppose almost like a child, a kid, What age is that? Because I went to Florida maybe then, right? So when was my first trip to Florida? It was Grandma Silly and Dad and Mom. I had Hello Kitty on the airplane. Hello Kitty, a little booklet. You can make little notes and little pencils with Hello Kitty on them. What about stickers? I liked my Hello Kitty. I kept it in the piano bench when I got back from Florida. And now Hello Kitty's in Asia. Yeah, it was anyway. I know there's Charles Cho on the YouTube account, but Hello Kitty was in Asia anyway, like Japanese. There was origami. Yeah, origami. I don't know if that's Hello Kitty. There was origami. I kept that in the piano bench with the Hello Kitty. Yeah, that's a long time ago. I just wanted you to know I still remember. Did Grandma Silly get on the airplane? She was at Disney World. They pushed her in a wheelchair. Yeah. I was on the airplane. I don't remember if Grandma Silly was on the airplane. Assume yes. But she was 80, I don't know, about 80 years old. But she looks old. She has white hair.